Lipstick is gonna like go down the toilet, man.
Okay, we're recording.
Oh dear.
Hi, my name is Teresa, and I'm here with Margaret. Margaret is a longtime friend of mine from Chicago. And Margaret, you are now living in, is it Indiana still? Yeah?
Yeah, Chesterton, Indiana.
Chesterton. All right. And so, Margaret, I'm happy that you accepted the invitation for these 3 questions. And I'm going to start with the first one. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
How are you developing or growing in your spirituality, your faith during this COVID-19 time?
Well, my faith has changed a lot in the last, since I knew you better when we lived in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And I've gone in more of an Eastern way of thinking. And more recently, I've been kind of in a more quantum understanding of spirit and source, energy, God. But I think that my roots in Catholicism they just don't, I don't think anything will ever dispel those, because I had a great deal of value from that in my life. And I think I always had kind of spiritual sort of, I don't know, I guess calling to some degree, because I've been just kind of on my own path, just kind of seeking a better understanding of who I am as a person. And I've been trying to stay in an available, present, aware state. I have been kind of losing touch with my daily meditation, because it's been a little disrupted by my companion's presence here some days and some not, and then some days there's been a lot of stress, so it interrupts that, and you wake up in the morning and I have a lot of freedom right at this particular time. So if I didn't, I lost a lot of sleep. There was a lot of sleeplessness during this period. So that's sort of been interrupted, I think, by just a lot of body stress and not a lot of sleep. Kind of interrupts my morning, because that's kind of my spiritual focus time. And then I'll listen to some meditation. Sometimes I'll listen to some chanting. So I guess I'd say it's been disrupted a little bit on that level. But on the other level, I hear myself talking to my brother once in a while, and my parents a little bit, or I hear myself saying the Memorare, or, some prayers or the Our Father, but the Memorare kind of comes up, because that's my favorite prayer. So I would say that it's definitely present, my spiritual practice, and probably even more so on my Catholicism, it's more present, just because those are sort of mantras, those prayers. Yeah.
Well, I hope that you are able to find that space for rest and re-energizing during this time. That is something I think that a lot of people are trying to manage. So,
well, I think that they closed Brian's store again today, and they're going to be closed definitely now till, I think, May 8th, I think he said. Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to be a little more at ease, because it was getting kind of stressful. Today I was kind of looking into how I should manage healthcare, should I get sick or something like that, because I need, that was now a looming possibility. It's still a looming possibility for the next 14 days, I suppose, but I think we'll be okay. We've been kind of living across the room for the last week.
So how are you distance socializing, or what creative activities are you engaging?
Well, I'm making soap, which I really like a lot.
Okay.
So yesterday I got a collection of soap together because I need a job, and I've been planning on doing that. I had this fabric here with my mask.
That is a great pattern. I love that pattern, but that's not soap.
It's not. but the fabric was from these lingerie bags that I was going to sell. And I
Uh-huh.
thought, I need more than lingerie bags. And so I thought, maybe I just need like a little soap. And I'm like, I can't get into making soap. And then one day I saw these silicone rose molds. And I'm like, those are awesome.
Mhm.
So I bought those. And then I thought, well, I'm just going to do it as simple as possible because I got a soap book. And I was like, I don't want to get lye and oil. I cook them. No. So I just got the pour stuff. You just
Yeah.
put it in a bucket and you put it in the microwave and you pour it in there. And I'm like, oh. So then I thought, well, why don't I get some essential oils? And then why don't I get some, activated charcoal? And so and then why don't I dye it? So it's sort of
That
like,
sounds like a lot of fun.
it's sort of like painting my scarves, honestly, because I'm like a chemist now, and I love mixing the fragrances. So if I stop smelling my fragrances, I know I got COVID-19. So that's also proactive. I want to know. I want to know right now.
Okay.
So I'm doing that, and I'm sewing the mask. I'm creating the mask. I was going to have some for Brian's store because I was worried about all these people, but now that's more to give to the hospital. So I know the hospitals came in and they bought a bunch of bandana. We're going to need millions of bandanas. Masks. Once again,
masks that'll go over are those going over
we're going to need masks. People are going to want to go out, and as long as they know that they're good for 14 days, then they can go out. And once they start coughing, then they'll go back in. And I don't know if we flatten this curve or not, because there's a lot of scary stuff going on out there. There's somebody who died and went into the hospital a week ago, and they were in the Atlanta airport, and they intermixed with like hundreds of people. And there's a lot of people that just don't get it yet. So, it's crisis management. They don't want to be uncomfortable until they're uncomfortable. And then they're willing to do something.
Yeah.
That's, people are uncomfortable being uncomfortable. But you know what? They're going to make, I'm not going to go there.
All right.
So those are, the most creative things I'm doing.
Those are really great. You've always been that creative person that has always had a lot going on.
The monologist.
And you share it. It's not something that you keep for yourself. You give to others. And I've known.
Well, I just want to try to make a few bucks and put a little food on the table, since we might be up a little bit of a muddy creek here. But we hope that doesn't work out that way.
We'll all be in it together, I think, Margaret.
What?
We'll all be in it together, I think. Which takes us
I
to
just hope we find someplace. We got to get out of where we are. It's just more, we don't like the people here.
How do you see the future changing because of the COVID-19 time we are living?
That's just, that's a mystical question. I wish I had a crystal ball.
How do you want to look at it? Do you want to take it in the way that you wish it would be, or how you actually gut feeling, how you think it's going to be?
Well, initially when I started seeing the sort of the ecological changes, they said, you sent this thing on, it's a beautiful bird. I think it was yours. You sent it was this beautiful blue jay with this blue background, and it was like a little prayer.
Oh,
that said,
that was from one of our father friends. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really beautiful. It said the birds are singing for the first time in Wuhan in, many, many years. You could see the sky through all the, the cloud, because there hasn't been any pollution. And then the streams, the canal started running clear in Venice. And I think there's a lot of birds out there. One morning I saw 12 robins. We took a walk. I don't think I've seen that many robins since I haven't seen that many robins in years. But, it's the very beginning of spring, and we had some nice days, so it's hard to know. But, you can't help but know that the ozone's going to change. The air's cleaning up. The price of oil's going down. There was a big... So I almost kind of don't mind if it gets catastrophic. I don't know what catastrophic is going to feel like, because catastrophic is kind of bad. So, you know,
so explain that a little bit more. What do you mean by?
You know, I mean, I don't want to be, you know, gun stores are open. I don't want to be having a can of food that somebody wants to steal away from me and they have a gun and I don't have a gun. I just decided earlier today that I'm not going to buy a gun. I'll give them a can of food. If they want to shoot me, then it's over. I'm not leaving this life with a bullet in somebody, okay? I'm just not doing it. A knife, that might be different. That's self-defense, you know. Anyway, nothing intentional. A gun is pretty intentional. So.
Yes.
I don't want to get to, you know, sort of an outlaw state, but I kind of saw that coming before this came. You know, the way the gun violence is in this world. I can see it being a little bit of an outlaw state in some circumstances. It just kind of depends. They say there's another wave coming in China. This thing could be, we could be going through this wave for 3 years. The Spanish flu lasted that long. So if it lasts that long, it's definitely going to just dismantle the economy. And unless we get somebody in there that's willing to do what it takes, I mean, it's going to be like FDR times, you know, we're going to have to rebuild this country. We're going to have to give people jobs. There's going to be people there's going to be a lot of billionaires out there that are going to lose their billions. They are, because their stores aren't going to be operating and their product isn't going to be moving and they're going to be sitting on it and people aren't going to be able to go places and feel secure. So it's not going to end. It's not going to end in August. You know, it's not. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I just don't believe that it's going to end in anything short of a year. That would be miraculous.
There's definitely
in a year's time,
lot of things that are going to have to be worked through before we get to this new place that we're going to. It seems like we're going to a new place, and there's a lot that we're going to have to work out as individuals and as a community. And I think a lot of it's going to come with our
community.
The leadership that we bring in.
Well, I think that there's a lot of people that are showing leadership due to the lack of leadership. I think people are taking, and I think that's a very American, I think that's a very human thing. I don't think it's exclusive to America. I think I think America used to be that way, but it's like, you know, everything's in the back door these days, you know. Everybody has a back porch. They don't have a front porch anymore. Everybody's in their little commune of comfort, you know. Until people get really uncomfortable, everyone's really uncomfortable, then everybody's not going to be looking out for everybody else, you know. And there's a couple of movies that I think are really good to watch. We watched The Three Burials of, I can't pronounce it. It's a Spanish name, and it's a really good movie for redemption. Mm-hmm. And then we saw another movie the other night on kind of a redemptive movie. I think that when people are just living their life comfortably by the seat of their pants, not really projecting forward and seeing what, you know, we weren't prepared for this virus. We should have had warehouses full of medical equipment prepared for something like this because it was coming. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a manifestation of climate change, which we know the administration has completely called unreal, you know. And well,
I think after all that we've shared with this third question, we've went from catastrophic to naming a few things to actually hopeful, which is good, right?
I think it's going to be a little scary, but I'm hopeful about the scary. Yeah, where I'm at. I think that this is definitely some sort of. I think it's universal karma right now. I think that the world's speaking, and you know, it's saying, pay attention, you know, listen, you know. So people don't like to listen.
I like to listen. One of the reasons why I'm doing this these three questions. So, Margaret, I want to say thank you very much. I've enjoyed catching up with you.